Once you calm down, slow down, touch down, break ground right here where you are, grow an extensive root structure right where you are, not over there or when he comes home or when the client comes or when nothing over there, nothing next, just now. Once you do that, you take back your power. There's plenty of power in the air. Hey, let's get going. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Same day, different year.
I started watching.
The path advancing appears retreating.
Yes. I started watching that movie. What is it called? Lost Horizon. It was just getting good. And then I couldn't keep my eyes open. So I have an hour of it left.
How far did you get?
About an
Half
hour?
an hour left?
Well, yeah, it's a 2-hour movie. I watched an hour of it.
Oh.
I had to bring it up on my phone and then like mirror it to my TV. It works good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. That works.
Yeah. I was kind of fascinated with how they filmed it back then with the plane and the weather and all of that.
1937, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lady who screamed on the plane, I was like, oh boy, I identify. She was keeping it together and then she just went, I was like,
yeah,
I get it.
kind of like our lives, huh?
Yes.
So much control, so much craziness, so much quiet desperation, so much I got it all under control.
Yeah, I definitely don't have it under control. And I noticed this morning, I felt when I woke up, I felt a level of panic. I felt depression, like the depression that I've been dealing with my whole entire life has gone like this. And sometimes it gets better and sometimes I am in it pretty deep right now. And it feels scary, which, then I'm, when I feel the depression, I get scared. Then it's all fear. Then it's just fight or flight. How do I breathe properly? How do I? I did push play immediately this morning. Did a short meditation. Then started to listen to the Tao Te Ching with Wayne Dyer because I really connect with that one.
Okay.
Got on my vibration plate. I just felt like I was able to not stay in it as long, like that real deep sadness as long. So it helped me a little bit. And then the fact that my day changed was okay. This was meant to be. I need the help.
So you go from catalyst and relief to abandonment and no possibility to get any help. You got to do it yourself. And then the world judges you when you can't do it yourself. But is that ever going to be a fact that goes away? No. Or people in general, give us more of the experience of get on with it, get on with your life, make it work than they do. Oh, I acknowledge your talents and I also acknowledge and have compassion and discipline for your faults or your errors or your growing edges. So this whole idea of kind of getting it right or concluding about this, the consciousness of the human mind says that's true, but it's not true.
Yeah, I find myself as I'm breathing, when am I going to get relief? When am I going to get relief? When I get, and it's like,
then never.
Yeah.
Then the answer is never.
That's exactly what's been happening. It made me worse. So surrendering to it.
Because how much you're going to take on, how much you're going to process. So the pointing finger, which is basically the human mind, says you must process it all. And until you process it all, I do not accept you or love you or care about you. That's a very strong element of us human beings, unfortunately. So therefore, if you're waiting for the relief to come from the acceptance of someone else, it doesn't really exist. I mean, it can exist a little bit, nice people, press play. But in the world, in the ordinary world, it doesn't work that way. So there must be boundaries and limitations and enforcement and self-protection to the sovereignty of your own psyche, because everybody else will try to take control. So if you're not alone, understanding your own human condition and working on it, understanding that nobody can take control and work it for you, and that there is no solution, now you're evolving. Now you say, well, I'm working on it. And you'll find a wonderful phenomena that really gives you profound relief. And that is when you look at the other person, depending on your level of advancement, most people aren't working on it at all. So your self-confidence and your relief and your personal power skyrockets. Because once you make that match of definition between yourself and others, what's the psychological maturation and enlightenment future of this person in your life that you're afraid of, and that person in your life that you're afraid of, and so forth?
Yeah.
It's like they're not doing anything, most of them. So you will eclipse them. So the human mind is, our hearts and our minds and our emotions are constantly at play with the for and against between ourselves and other people. But after a while, it just doesn't matter anymore, because that's the rat race. And I told the two students that are hunters, and the one's all into the most extreme sniper rifle stuff and everything, and they got one the other day. Said they're going to bring me meat, and never happened. Anyway, so I said, do you want a method for hunting? Go sit in a tree stand for 4 hours.
Yeah.
On the high ground.
They don't do that?
Once you do that, I don't know. He didn't respond when I said that. I was probably talking too much. I don't think so. I think they just kind of stalk and walk.
Oh.
I try to tell Taz that. You want a mouse? Go sit in a tree.
And you can see everything, right?
See everything. And once you see everything, you're going to, it changes in your relationship to humankind. Because you see that the people that you are afraid of are actually little weakling people, mostly. And that actions and consequences is real. And you need to worry about your actions and consequences, not theirs. If you're a mother, it's a little different, but still, it's still the same thing. It's an individual soul. If you try to live through the success of your son or your sister or whatever, then you drain yourself and you make him an addict.
Scariest thought ever.
Well, we're going to fail each other. We're going to fail life. We're going to fail others. So once you mature enough, you get over that and you're like, I can't do good enough. But I can do my path. And my path is independent of your path. You have nothing to take or give that defines my path. So therefore, being alone in my path, I find more resiliency to have more healing and more competency in who I am.
Well, that's important for me to hear once in a while, that the path is independent, because I feel like being back in this environment, I easily get wrapped up in everybody else's what's going on, and then, feel their anxiety, their fears, their drama, and forget about my path, which then causes more depression. So
there's no way to be separate from other people's anxieties and actions and consequences. It's in the air.
Right.
But like with Taz, I want him to respect my personal space, especially in the early morning hours.
Okay.
So I might have to bark now and then, because like a baby, you really can't do that. It's kind of not possible. But at the same time, I can train him a little bit. So that's the truth with people. People are going to orbit whatever the energy is, like the planets orbit the sun. The truth is, you have to help people stay in their proper orbits. The proper orbit around an enlightened master person is very dangerous. You better know your orbit, because we all want to take over the other person, and you try to do that with enlightened masters, and you're going to get it, depending on, who and what their skill levels are. But enlightened people know that that's the only thing we can do. When Garchin or Amachi or Lao Tzu or Bodhidharma or Buddha or Jesus or whatever, and they're doing their gig, they know that the other people can only have attraction and repulsion because they want to be the sun. But we're not the sun. Enlightened masters are the sun. Beauty of Islam again. I so want to tell the Islam God really hard truths, but he won't take it, so there's no use. But the Islam is good at that. Rules, obedience, orbits, that's great. So you get that going on, and then you hop over to Christianity and you get the intercession. Jesus interceding for me. My righteousness is not my own. I don't have to be perfect. You might tell me I have to be perfect. But Jesus and enlightened people say, I don't have to be perfect. You're fine the way you are. So then the cat goes out and comes in and listens, and is a good cat because of the love and the orbit. Then you can go over to Taoism and say, well, cat can't help himself, so let's go with the flow. Let's move and shake with this stuff like this and help him to find his enlightenment, his healing. Let's go over to Buddhism. Buddhism, Einstein said, if there's one religion that conforms to the dictates of science, it's Buddhism. And boy, was he right. Buddhism is the genius of religion, the mind. They're the greatest with the mind. So everything has a study. This kind of emotion, this kind of a thought, the whole thing is about emotion. You have afflictive emotion, that's the cause of your bad thoughts and bad behavior. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. All of these things are wonderful ways to experience a new start, a clean slate. But you can't experience a new start and a clean slate if you're caught in being right for them.
Right.
Because you can't be right for them. You don't have enough intelligence or power. It's absolutely impossible for me to be right for you. I can't fill that void. I don't have that power. God doesn't have that power with you because you're not receptive and I'm not receptive. So outside of ourselves, there will be no, other person that kind of measures up the way we want. So we distract ourselves.
Instead of being a disappointment.
Instead of staying with the fact that we don't understand what to do or the wrong stuff, the step one stuff. We want to take action too quickly. Action is 1%. Preparation is 99%. That's the master. That's why with Benjamin, and I kind of giggle and I'm a little afraid, the MMA giant, I'm a little afraid to demonstrate my ability when I see him next, because I have 10 times more power and ability than he ever understood or knew. But as we learn more, I'm able to demonstrate more intelligence, more power, more ability. But that's the 99-1. 99-1. I used to tell him, when you go into the ring or before you go into the ring, don't look around at the audience. Keep your head down. See, where can the person hit me? So life is 99-1. It's 99-1. You should be preparing all day for client and Jackson, and then sister and brother-in-law, in that order. Or Jackson first.
Mm-hmm.
All day. So all day you're preparing for. I prepare for 1,000 hours to talk to you for 3 hours or 2 hours. All day, all night. No answer, no solution, no wisdom, no understanding. And then I said, then when the bell rings, tear them apart. When Jackson comes home, express yourself after there's some reception in the ways that need to be expressed. When you're going to meet family or clients or environment now, that 99% becomes 1%, and you give it all to them. And it's a bunch of ones and zeros, surgical precision to satisfy them so much that they become receptive to you and respectful of you and humble to you and honoring of you and empathizing with you. You're doing empathy and compassion and respectful to them. So if you don't make them do it to you, you fail them. Life is not all woman or all man or all yin or all yang. It's a balance. And the yin or the woman is the 99. The 1% is the man or the action, precise action. If you live this way, you'll gain so much ground in relationship with other people because nobody is preparing for anything. They're thinking about other things, not what's most important, which is Jackson, sister, brother-in-law, clients. That's the only thing that's important. Guru, bridge teacher, Jackson, so forth, so forth. There's nothing else.
Last night. So I didn't really respond. I didn't take any action with my brother-in-law yesterday after that stuff happened, he sent me a long text, still felt misunderstood because of what he said. So I just backed off and didn't do anything and just tried to work on it behind the scenes a little bit, understanding where he's coming from, like you said, all the things that he's got going on and how overwhelmed he must have felt. And no,
You gave him that? That's good.
I mean, I didn't.
Or you
I was
thought it or something?
thinking it and letting it go, trying to let it go and know that space is good, and just to see what would happen. And I guess he texted Jackson last night while we were sitting after dinner. We were sitting, and he texted Jackson, "Do you want to go to dinner with me? Yes or no?" That was his question. Dinner tomorrow night? Yes or no? So Jackson said yes. I think Jackson would like more of a relationship with Joe.
You mean just going upstairs for dinner? Or?
No, taking him out. He's taking him out to dinner. Just the two of them.
Just the two of them?
Mm-hmm. And I think Joe would like that. Joe wants a little clone of himself that's like easy to manage, and Jackson wants, somebody to look up to and to be more of a model, but also a friend. Like, he doesn't want the discipline from Joe, but he wants somebody, I feel like, in his life, somebody to talk to about guy things. So I'm hoping it'll be a positive thing. And then Joe, so I didn't mention anything last night, but Joe reached out to me this morning and said, sorry about all the bullshit yesterday. And then that's where I gave him all of it. And I said, I really am sorry. I'm the one who felt I dumped it all on you. And I know you have so much going on. I can't imagine the weight that you feel from me, being the one that does all the muscle around this building, and the girls have boyfriends that that weighs on him, and they're doing whatever and their jobs and everything. So I kind of gave him all of it in that and said I was sorry. So I feel like that feels more level now. And it's interesting because as soon as what I realized after I did that is there wasn't any, I don't know what happened, but there wasn't any, like, I don't know if I worked through it or what, but there wasn't the raw emotion of, I want to attack, mama bear or whatever. Like, I got to get my point across. There wasn't any of that urgency. And so I feel like and then I was truly able to say that I'm sorry. And I truly do empathize with him. And I feel like once I was able to do that, then that raw emotion kind of went away. When it stays.
Sounds like step 1 and 2.
Yeah. When it stayed like in that loop of, oh my gosh, what is going on? How can I communicate better? And why am I not using my words right? Why does he not get it?
A lot of times we meander in the problem and don't surrender to it so much that we never get very precise. So if we do step 1, which is the acceptance of whatever is, and step 2, which is I'm slowing down now.
Step 1 is
I'm accessing subconscious process power.
I feel like the period is accept. I have trouble getting to the accepting part of, like, I am never going to get it. This is always going to be an issue.
Well, because if you tell the truth, you can't put a period on it because it's infinite. It's the karma of the human race. So it's the karma of everything you're experiencing and everything in the future and everything in the past. So how do you put a period on it? Well, the sun rises and the sun sets. So somebody else is dictating cycles to things. So even though it doesn't make sense really to go to sleep in some way, you have to go to sleep. So step 2 is you just transition or change yourself into experiencing calming down, slowing down, because the subconscious process is fast. That's why we dream. So you follow the sun going up and the sun going down. You don't think yourself, I'm the sun going up and down. I'm the universe. I'm God. I understand. No, you surrender. And in that second that you do, you'll have an angle and an insight and an intelligence and an energy that's transcendent of the other person. So now, like with Ben, really, I hold the weakness. I can injure. I hold his healing. I can heal. How are you going to mess with somebody like that? So you're given that advantage, or you're given that power when you go the distance to surrender, to honor the other individual. Then you'll see the male mind, Joe's mind, that's different than your mind. The only reason he's talking about it and communicating back and forth is because your new age, nice enough Fruit Loop, that's the sister-in-law living downstairs. You don't want to talk about this stuff. You want to talk about it. No man wants to talk about anything, basically. So then you can play his game or her game according to the bodysuit they wear, or according to the circumstance. You can understand he wants concision, like making a choice to go from step 1 to step 2. That's his world. Coming at spirituality is coming at it through the ones and zeros, or enlightenment, or his light. For you, coming through at it as a woman is coming through at it through feeling into it. That doesn't exist for a man, generally speaking.
I had to think about that for Jackson too then, right?
Of course. He had girls, money, job. The meaning of life is non-existent. Doesn't exist as a question. When am I 18? So I don't have to listen to one word she says. And I can get the hell out of here.
Exactly.
Because she won't shut up. I don't care what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you come at a man to a man through silence. I'm not a man or a woman anymore. I know something happened to me. I'm a cosmic dude. So I can understand and sit back and watch the show, you know. There's too much belief in frenetic activity and the point, the conclusion. Einstein said, the sole determining influence to the particle is the wave. So the man's supposed to pour his power to the woman, and the woman's supposed to sort it through with emotional feeling, and that's how both get to the spiritual. So if you don't have silence to receive the projection of the man, then you're not receiving anything. So you don't have any power yourself then. You have vagina, they got penises. This is the biology.
That is interesting. As I look back on my relationships, really, really apparent that I should have been more silent.
That's the master.
Yeah.
The master is receptive, like the woman, the Tao Te Ching says. And that's how the valley gets all the water. That's why a woman has more internal power. Man can't shut up worse than a woman in the inside world.
Okay. That helps me understand.
So whoever's the valley gets the water. Whoever sits the lowest and waits the longest. You want to shoot a deer? Stand still. You guys can't stand still. I don't care what happens, you can't stand still. You got the 50 caliber sniper rifle, you got all the scopes, you got the... You're nonsense. Slow down, stop, reverse your search. Sole determining influence of the particle is the wave. That means the wave in physics is the field of seeing everything. Superimposition means you're not taking action. You're not looking. You're just observing the schoolhouse and the schoolroom, so forth. And if you do that enough, what happens is you know how to take action then. Now, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of education that's a bit much for right now. So I wish some of you friend student people would buck up a little bit so that I could deliver some serious stuff. But to make it simple, or suffice it to say, the path advancing appears retreating. Why are they the master? Because they're shapeable like an uncarved block of wood. They're receptive like your grandmother. So you have to use the logic of your mind, listen to the words and go, that's right, and then follow them. You can't use the logic of your mind and try to understand it and hold it and things like that, because everything in your mind is formed to do 199, not 99.1. To do 99% action and 1% inaction. And your mind is exactly incorrect in its formation. And there'll be no mastery with that way of living. There'll be no resolution of karmas and life mystery. You've got to know a lot about life, or experience a lot about life to have any peace of mind. And I think, if there's some way that you can do 10s and 5s and put a J and put a D.
Yeah.
Now you have a moment. Huh?
I've been trying to, I do more 10s myself, but the I's.
He says, do or do not. There is no try. It's only 10 seconds I'm asking you and Jackson to do.
I agree.
But you, like everybody else, can't do 10 seconds.
Another time, back to my meditation will I go.
And so I learned that, over 20 years, the 40 years, whatever, of teaching and learning. So it went from, the full cycle and 2 hours a day to
You have interrupted.
2 hours once a week.
Stories of adventure, dangerous enemies, the Sith and the Jedi I speak of. But another time,
Press the
back
wrong
to
hand.
my meditation will I go. May the Force
And
be
then
with you. Meditating I
10s,
say,
5s,
at
and
one with the Force am I.
10s, 5s, and customized.
My meditation, you
Anyway,
have
all of
interrupted.
these ideas.
Many things can Yoda teach you.
And now I know it's just 10 seconds. Forget talking about anything else.
Dangerous enemies,
Here we go.
the Sith and the Jedi
Because
I speak of.
if I can get
But another time.
a few weeks of 3 weeks of 10-second sheets filled out, and then the other thing is people just go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, JD, JD, GD,
They just fill it in.
and then they give me the sheet. Yeah, they fill it in, in 2 minutes and then show me. Or they do it in one day and they say, okay, I did 10 seconds today and I'm going to fill it all. Everything, it's all a piece of cake. When am I going to get to eat the piece of cake? William said, fill out the circles. As soon as I fill out the circles, I get a piece of cake.
True.
So now you fill out the circles so you can get cake. Well, that won't work either. Fill out the circles as a way of life. You don't want to be exactly, precisely specific because that takes a picture in time. Who was it? I forget. The Muslim guy. Why do I have to write these things down? I said, because you're batshit crazy. And I said, me too. That's why I tell you. You can't concentrate. I don't care what happens. You can't concentrate on your mind and your body. So if I ask you to put an essential oil under your nose or contemplate an intelligent quote or to do 10 seconds, that's like a total violation to, Einstein said, wave and particle, to seeing everything. You're in the flow, you're seeing everything. So I'm not going to really be precise about taking inner action. I only take outer action to distract myself, but I won't be precise about taking inner action because then that removes from me the picture of seeing everything, being in the flow and trying to figure it out and working with it. If I pick one quote and contemplate it, that's wrong because I'm in the middle of action and flow.
Yeah.
But that's not how training happens. Training happens with specific words, specific actions, with endless repetition. So you're trying to change your biochemistry to go to a whole nother higher level. That's the path of enlightenment, you could say, in a sense. And it's not through necessarily diet or exercise or anything. It's through mind power to change how you feel. You've got blood pressure, you've got hormones, you've got pulse, you've got brain waves, you've got brain chemistry. All psychiatrists say brain chemistry can't be changed. It's the way it is. That's complete nonsense. It's totally unscientific, yet it's something that they all echo. Of course, brain chemistry changes when hormones change. Your brain chemistry changes because your blood's in your brain. So you want to change your brain chemistry, Jackson, Michael. Jackson. Michael Jackson, I said. I better change my brain chemistry. You better change your brain chemistry so that you have more brainwave coherence. You want to change your heart rate variability. Joe Dispenza said a total error. He was saying about the heart rate variability being a strong indicator and you want to make it more even. That's completely wrong. Heart rate variability is determined by the variability of the pulse in subtle levels. The more even in the sense of heart rate variability actually means less health. So it took me 20 years to figure that out, because you would think heart rate variability means evenness, but it doesn't mean evenness. It means a certain level of freedom of variability. It means you're not overly constricting your heart with your mind. The light went off. So Joe Dispenza said that. I thought that for 20 years. Heart rate variability measures the evenness of your heart. No, it measures the variability of the pulse on subtle levels. So if you got the next 10 pulses, a subtle level of difference is a signature of health. A strong evenness is a signature of unhealth. Now, we can't see that with the normal pulse because it's going pum, 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 So evenness in that sense is good. But heart rate variability is directly connected to your emotional health. You have a shocking emotion, it constricts your heart rate variability.
Makes sense.
There's no freedom, kind of like the drum beat becoming a symphony.
That makes sense to me because it's called variability. So,
well, if you research it, you'll see. Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's actually a certain kind and measure. I don't know so much of the science. Heart math could tell us more. But it's this freedomness of a little bit of variability.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, that shows emotional constriction and emotional ill health, not to mention it's not good for them. So it's the strongest feedback for meditation. Initially, you could say. That's got to be healthy. Then you go into brainwave coherence. Meditation is your ultimate personal resource. It's what Jackson does before he shoots the basketball. But I want Jackson and you and Michael upstairs, Joe, everybody to understand that it's the inner world that determines your success in life, because that's what determines the health of your relationships. That's what determines your ability to make money, everything. 70 to 90% is the determination of success in life and in business because of emotional health. You type it into Google, that's what you'll see. Emotional health is far more important than intellectual health. Intellectual health is the point, is the one, is the zero. Emotional health is the heart, is the inner world. You don't need to worry about the intellectual health and the point and the action. If you want to shoot a deer, if you're sitting in the stand and you got a gun in your hand and you're willing to get the meat from the deer, when the deer appears, you're going to shoot it. So taking action for a masterful person is a very subconscious, superconscious thing. It's drive. It's not motivation, reason, inspiration, calculation. It's drive. I need to eat. Best way to eat is for me to be totally still and get up on the thing. But nobody can do it. People can't stop.
Yeah, it sounds so simple. It makes sense. There's a whole lot of resistance to it.
Why?
I would love to know. I feel like that's one of my biggest questions every day. Why can't I figure it out? Why can't I?
Well, figuring it out's not possible. So the question itself is faulty.
Okay.
There is no figuring it out. What are you going to figure out? If you study physics, you'll never know as much about physics as Einstein. You could study it your whole life. You might say that you can do it, and you could, and it's a lie. You're not going to. No matter what you do, you're not going to learn as much about physics as Einstein. So figuring it out is only a relative thing. How much you're going to figure out and about what?
Why?
When you release completion.
Understanding. I would like to understand why
Why what?
Why I'm resistant to being still or feeling my feelings or.
Okay. Because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's self-deprecating. But that's the only way for you to overcome and transcend and transmute and mature and become more healthy. Denial is the main reason for mental health and addictive exacerbation. Denial. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. So when you go through a flow of healing, a session of an experience of healing, let's say you go to a magic scene in nature. First, you got to walk there. You got to get there. You got to get ready and go there. It's all kind of uncomfortable and GPS. Then you get there. Then you relax. Then you go beyond and your problems are gone. Then you get ready for action. You root down. You expand your awareness, like if you're alone in the scene in nature, you start thinking about home and this and that, and oh, I'm going to be back there. And then you take action, you engage. And in that engagement, you try to prepare yourself, well, I'm going to do the best I can. But if you're reasonable, you're not going to fix it all. And doing that is a very powerless place because you have to back off when there's more to do. But when you do that, you engender the trust of other people because you allow them to have their say in the process. And most people then will try to grab everything because that's what they do. So when they do that, you can just realize that, well, here is Jackson trying to overtake everything and be in control of everything, and that ain't never happening, and he doesn't get that. All right, so I'll watch that happen. And then you go back to your corner, go back to your room, go back to your place and start over again. So this can be a skill in business, a skill in relationship. But what we're doing in this forum here is making it a skill for self-awareness, self-healing. Because if you upgrade your hardware, who you are and how you live, then everything you feel, think, say, and do is going to be improved. It's the ultimate resource for a human being.
I like the hike analogy. That makes sense to me.
Ave Maria, grazie. Oh. Yeah, so that's the flow. Every human being, when they experience personal healing, biochemistry change, brainwave change, heart rate variability change, hormone change, spatial orientation change, refreshment, they go through these different phases. The first thing is, I finally feel safe to let it out. My excessive intellectualization, my food addiction, my whatever. I'm not going to keep processing to figure everything out. I'm just going to let out the toxic feelings surrounded with some of these things. This bad interaction I had, being not good enough, who isn't, being afraid that I won't make it, too much pressure. So you allow yourself to feel those feelings, and that is a sigh of relief, like something good happening or you're getting on the hike place. Now you go into the next phase of it. And the next phase of it, you take time to smell the smells and hear the sounds and see the sights. Because life is a sensual experience, and that's the power that's given to your body. It's in the air around you in the form of the energies and the elements. But until you can sort through your psychic magnetism conundrum with other people, you can't really tap nature's support. So in step 2, now you're doing all that. The eyes reversed, the nose reversed, the head reversed, the ears reversed, the centers reversed. From seeking to control an outer thing to just receiving everything as it is. Now nature is present. All of a sudden you're going to remember the waterfall. All of a sudden you're going to remember the sky and the stars. There's no solutions here. There's only being nourished, taking a break, taking a breather, go out for a breath of fresh air. Change of atmosphere. This is the inner solution that creates outer solutions. You get to step 3, transcendence, time passing by without any notice, or phase 3. That's the magic. It seems like you're wasting all the time in the world. Sitting quietly, the grass grows by itself. Eons pass and I hardly notice. Can you imagine Jesus or Buddha, going for a run? Or Jesus or Buddha, being in a frenetic mess? Or these people? The wise people are calm, cool, and collected. And when they take action, they move the universe. But we all have a reversed. Everything is forced. But the wise people, they cultivate. You ever see the movie The Dark Crystal?
From the 80s, I think. Yeah? 70s?
Yeah. Got to write that down.
I think so.
Yeah. The wise people are so slow moving this. And that's how Jim Henson and the rest of the people depicted the mystics, they call them. So internal power is extraordinary. And if you want to run, jump, move, shake, you can do it faster than anybody. But you must cultivate that inner world as your priority. Because if you don't do that, you don't have anything. If you want to get more done in less time with better results, then slow down, stop, and reverse your search. 99% preparation, pulling the bow back, targeting. 1% precise surgical action that changes everything. Leverage. When you go into the world, the physical world, it's all conflict, it's all action. Who listens to who gets the energy, who entrains who. But if you have an agenda that is good for Jackson and brother-in-law to be facilitated by, then you have to win that war for entrainment. And you have to let yourself lose the war to entrainment to whoever the teachers are. Everybody thinks, no matter what, I'm going to get the energy, I'm going to win, I'm going to facilitate, I'm going to get through, I'm going to protect my whatever. Not with the real teachers. We don't want to do that. We want to lose with the real teachers.
What does that mean?
That's the hardest part. It means that, I'm not listening very well. It means that the sun and the stars and the nature and the integrity of everybody is there, and I'm not really receiving any of that very well. I'm trying to bolster my own strength and intelligence and agenda, what I want, what I don't want. That's basically all I'm concerned with. So if I bring my head into my body, then from what above me comes down, and it makes me land like a earthquake. Then you have extraordinary gravity. If you're a conduit from above to below and from below to above and out. If sages and saints are real, then what are you doing today? If sages and saints are not real, and miraculous powers and the supernatural and the afterlife are not real, okay, your agenda, what you're doing today is valid. If sages and saints are real, the supernatural is real, and I know this watch is supernatural. And EKG, blood oxygen, antioxidants, it measures all that stuff. So if the sages and saints are real and enlightenment is real and there was a person or is a person named Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha and so forth and so on and Lao Tzu, then I need to surrender to them and allow them to live through me because I don't know as much about physics as Einstein. So I need Einstein. If I want to learn about physics, I need E equals mc squared and whatever else that's true about physics. I need to refer to these things. And in referring to these things, I can have my own understanding. I can become individuated. But the master student is more allowing the conduition of the main principles or the main people rather than self-actualization. Self-actualization by yourself is nonsense. It's a myth. So the human ego, everybody wants to say, many people would say, if this was a large audience, for example, there's plenty of people that discover physics on their own. Okay, you know what? I hardly even have time for that argument. Personally, I don't know about anybody else, but personally, if I want to learn about physics, I think E equals mc squared means something. I'd like to find out what that is. I don't really know, other than energy and matter and light going twice as fast as its own speed is equal to matter. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. But then there's other principles. I don't know them. I would get all the principles and I would begin to contemplate the principles, not my own self doing it. So you have nothing without the transmission. The transmission. Where does the transmission come from for you? It comes from the teachers and the masters and the scriptures. That's where it comes from. And nature. So I call it the 5 darshans. Master, and that could include a bridge teacher and living link teacher. Nature. Now, with master and nature, there's a lot of variables there, right? Pronoia, atmizing, which means interpreting everyone in their divine aspect. Repentance, and I forget the other one.
What's pronoia? Same as optimizing.
Pronoia means everything is conspiring for your healing. Every religion says that. God's in control. There's a reason and a purpose for everything. That doesn't mean that in the relative world, there's not right and wrong, good and bad, and you're supposed to fight. That's true. But in the transcendental world, which is the world of access of something wonderful like the Magic Garden scene, there is no conflict. You're just watching the one white light of the movie theater produce the scenes on the screen, and you find who you are. Who you are is not the scenes on the screen, which means the material circumstances of your life. Oh, people in the air. I think is one of the darshans. I made it now. I always refine all this stuff. That's the fifth one. It means that if you can't deal with the people in the air, then you don't know anything. You can't see anything. Now, most people, it's impossible to deal with the people in the air. Who's in touch with you and why? What are their intentions? So since the people in the air are the biggest challenge and fear and opportunity, we never get beyond that. So you've got to sort through the people in the air to be able to get to nature, to be able to realize pronoia, and finally to repent, to say, this behavior in me is not properly formed. It relates to this, it relates to that, and it must transfigure. I must develop enough power that the tendrality and neurology changes. Tendrality is my communications in psychic space, like wires in psychic space. Neurology is neurology. There's certain associations that have got to be destroyed. There's certain associations that have to be connected. Regrown neural roots, repaired burnt circuits.
I've been feeling like I want to wash the environment lately. Like I really feel like that gets me thinking about what's in the air. People.
Yeah, you really see, like, I don't want to do it. I notice that when people are on the back deck and I'm doing it and we go past my bedroom, that's a blurb. Where's their blurps on the field? Which neighbor is funny? And when you put your hand there, there's going to be a blurb. So where is their blurps? Is that the right word? Blurps on the radar screen.
Yeah.
When you go with
it's like boop.
Sister, brother, yeah, where is their blurb? Which one goes up? Why? When you go to the lady's mother, which she's very interesting to me, I wish she could get on your table. She's like a black hole. I think she's in danger, actually.
I think so.
The daughter, not so much, really. She's just young, got plenty of energy.
Boyfriend or what? But there's something there.
Yeah. So you scan and you get these blurps with people. Now, what you need to do is you need to find. I notice that when I do this with the people in teaching, the blurp is always outside themselves. No, the blurp is inside yourself, outside yourself.
Oh, all right. Hold on a sec. So when I scan and I feel it,
different people in your life, different circumstances.
It's not actually them. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly what I'm saying. But that's very advanced. Yeah. Why am I experiencing this? Dr. Hugh Len, they had to close Hawaii State Hospital. Everybody got healed. His whole thing is, I didn't talk about them. I asked, why am I experiencing this? Where am I experiencing this in my body? This person acting crazy, he says in the interviews, or so forth and so forth. Where am I experiencing this? Not what is Jackson doing? Why is he experiencing this? Where am I experiencing this? That's the master. That's what makes your eyes become mystic eyes, because you perceive the entire world and all your relationships and circumstances from the place of 100% responsibility, meaning what's my role in this? And you'll then, after a while, you'll find a synthesis between the outer world and the inner world.
Like, for instance,
you'll see that actually it's the same world.
For instance, my brain fog and distraction that I feel, that I've been blaming on my hormones and my lack of...
Yeah, no matter what, you have to have your 100% responsibility. Then you can talk about hormones and so forth.
But
first is mind power.
But that symptom, like saying, like, what's going on in my body, relating to...
Don't think like a doctor first. Think like, what can I do to ameliorate this circumstance through my own mental attitude and mental behaviors? And then you could say, well, I need hormone replacement and so forth and so forth. But that's after. The first thing is, what can I do? You don't go to a doctor and say, I'm not sleeping well, and they give you a sleeping pill. That's got to be the dumbest perpetuation of disease
That's all they do.
Ever invented.
Yeah.
Well, they're good people and they're trying to help. But the thing is, it's a responsibility that we have towards each other to find out what's going on with the individual psyche, which is not even an area of psychology or psychiatry, because still it's an external thing. And you sort through what happened with my mommy when I was 5 and the rest of it. For the mystic, why am I experiencing this? That's what makes you Superwoman. Then you can say, oh, it relates to this experience with my mommy. Or I'm going through this and that, and I need to eat different before you take vitamin supplements, and so forth. Then it becomes external. That's fine. But the more that it's an internal thing, the more that you become able to make what I call flow pills, which means you have digestion problems, then get hungry and don't waste it on ice cream. You have sexual libido problems, get horny and don't waste it on surface orgasms. You have heart problems, be loved in your heart emotionally. You have mental brainwave problems, synchronize your mind through centering exercises. That's the first course of action. That's the primary course of action. Then, of course, you can have different food choices, different behavior choices, different medication choices, all that's fine. Only in that order, though. If you reverse the order of priority from the external to the internal, what is Jackson doing? What is Brother Joe doing? What is the school system doing? What is the new governor doing? So forth. You don't get it.
I have to go back because I got what you're saying, but where am I experiencing this? That first part.
Physically.
But if I have, so I have a symptom or a scribble on my stick figure, brain fog, and lack of speed in thinking, cognitive aging. Okay. Do I just have to name that as something, or is it something going on? You're saying, where am I experiencing this? Do I have to connect it to, because right now I'm thinking like Jackson, that's all that stuff. Then
in you.
Right. I'm experiencing it with Jackson or because,
Listen, I taught thousands of people, and the one thing that nobody can get is that me too. I'm experiencing you right now.
Yeah.
I'm not experiencing you over there.
The confusion.
I'm experiencing you in here.
Yes.
And by experiencing you in here, I have certain confusions about how come I can't feel what's going on with my brain and my relationships with my body.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's my problem. Because if I can do that, then you get healed and I get healed. But if I objectify like a scientist and say, obviously she's stuck in her head, she's sucking her digestion dry, that's why she's got to eat the extra ice cream or whatever in the weight, because there's too much sucking of energy from her body to her brain to fuel psychic power, energy power, understanding things, managing stuff as a single lonely woman that got shafted in life, So this overblooming sunflower is pulling its roots up. Now, those are knowledge bits I have about your circumstance over there. But those knowledge bits are only little data points. It's kind of like the data points of what's going on with Jackson. They're nice and they're helpful, but the real solution is this element of empathy and compassion with discernment, with fighting, to realize your experience in my own body and to take responsibility for the discomfort of that and to process it. That's how you become a miracle woman. So you don't take on the stuff of the client. It's not their stuff. It's your stuff. You can find out where inside your body, mind, you have the same experience as that daughter and as that mother, or as Jackson in a different body form. You can see how you have that same experience. And over the years, it becomes easier to recognize that you're both being healed by the process of your taking responsibility.
Okay. I'm starting to get it, I think.
What are you going to get?
Split second. Well, the fact that I look at Jackson and I say, oh, he's so distracted. He's this.
Yeah.
It's not. It's I'm distracted. I can't prioritize my own healing. And
even if you're dealing with the most distracted individual in the world, It's still your distraction. Now, you're going to have certain capacities. I can deal with this. I only have so much ability. However, your capacities improve by continuing to recognize, oh, obviously I'm distracted. And if I was less distracted, he would be less distracted. But you only have so much time to get it. Now we can know about getting it, because he comes home in so many hours. So if you don't get it and process it and have enough time for this before, then the loop just continues. I mean, the loop's going to continue no matter what you do, but your sphere of influence is going to become stronger if you can time your life in a way where before you see the people, you have done your work. If you don't have any work to do, then I get it. So what is your work? What is that? What does that look like? What does the work look like? You know, when you say I have work to do, what do you do in doing your work?
I need to feel more about what is around me.
No, what do you do? Not what do you need to do. What do you do in your life now? Your daily life, like to do the work of your own healing or your own enlightenment or something. Tell me what you do.
Right now,
day.
I do this.
Yeah, every day.
So that I and understand, because I got lost in the distraction, and I feel like I got so outside of myself that I'm starting to do more for myself, but the 10 seconds, the
So what do you do on your own? So you got the catalyst. I'm like press play kind of. You got the catalyst going. Now, in your own life alone, what do you do every day? Do you read? Do you listen to audios?
I do more listening, I think. More listening, more visual and listening. Prayer. You know, these are my grandmother's earrings. I feel like
fun.
They're just unique, and it feels.
Were they in Italy? Was she Italy?
Yeah, she's Sicilian.
No? She was?
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Not Sicilian, but from Italy. I'm on the one side.
So I feel like there's, you know, the relics, the things that.
Great. All right. So you got it. So now write it down. You listen to something and you have relics. You touch the relics. Okay. So those are two things you do that are exactly opposite to every bit of willpower you have in your life, because the willpower says do something else. It doesn't say touch the ear. It says very limited, touch the earrings and touch the things. You should see my altar. I don't show anybody my altar. Maybe someday. I mean, it's amazing. It's freaking another world shrine. It's 3 walls of plastered everything you can possibly imagine. Every sage and saint you can possibly imagine. Stone from St. Francis of Assisi's gravesite. Water from Lourdes. Oil from Pio. Oil from the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Certifications and being a Zen monk and being the Shumei, the Japanese Shinto, and Buddhist, and Garchen Rinpoche, and the spinny thing, and the.
Is that where you go to
practice? Sometimes.
I want to see.
Never. And there's a black sheet stapled to the ceiling all around it, and I didn't scratch the surface of what's in there. There's so many things in there that I can only talk about it so long, and I don't have a mind anymore. Babaji picture. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Purna Brahma Swarupanye Namaha. Been studying the Catholic exorcism book every day, and the Quran. It's funny that the Quran and the exorcism book are going at the same time. Almost through all of that, of the original 1614 version. The power of Christ compels thee. I mean, this is warfare, ain't no joke, And so many things. So much. I've got 7 or 8 of these guys. I've got 2 of the giant ones that swirl. My whole life is, really that, just there's secret notes all in different little places. There's my desk over here, which is another secret place that is a very nice thing. And
my Padre Pio oil got sent back because of an address issue or something.
So you were saying you have all these things, and I wanted to reference to you that it's all the sages and saints do that. They dance in the woods and they do the prayer beads, and the people have miraculous power and have talk about eternal life. They all do this endless sort of prayer and meditation and talk about how there were a sinner in the world. So I must be doing good because that's what I do. Oh, I forgot. So there, all my problems are gone because you helped me to realize I do the same shit as supernatural sages and saints. All right, so that if you sages and saints are the real deal and they have miraculous powers and the supernatural and eternal life. I mean, if you don't believe in that, then you're just, I'm talking to whoever might be watching. You're just not that witty yet. It's not my fault. They're obviously real, and all this phenomena is obviously real. You just need to slow down and take your time. So if you slow down and take your time today, and you realize that divine, supernatural, miraculous intercession is available to you, you might want to take up the offer. You might want to accept it, because once you do, Jackson gets healed and Joe gets healed. Now, because why? Because they're you. They're your karma. Mm. And so now you got the field. Now you bring your mind, and there ain't no people in there, or they're copacetic. You clean that out by cleaning the inside. Now you clean the outside. Now you have this thing called nature, which nobody has. You begin to live more sensually with nature. Each scent, each sight. Now you get some real food. Jesus said, I have food to eat you know not of. Jesus said, believe on me and from your belly will flow rivers of living water. Then he breathed on them and said, receive you the Holy Spirit, heal the sick, raise the dead. I mean, this is a bunch of nonsense or not? Plenty of people believe it's a bunch of nonsense. They're mistaken. So you could realize that even though you don't understand everything and whatever, and plenty of faults and ignorances, and you're subject to loss and disease and death and the rest of it, however, you're interested in things that are wonderful. And you could never have any more emotional health teaching than from Buddhism, for example. Psychology can't do it. You could never have more healing for your mind than transcendence. Can't solve a problem same level where it exists. You can't just keep on thinking about everything, trying to fix everything like a screwdriver. It's a conduition of transcendence and nature and beautiful. There's so much to codify in your brain, to coordinate in such a way that you as an individual become a conduit rather than a subject-object strategist. Then your ability to do strategy skyrockets because you're seeing everything from a place of neutrality. So the Padre Pio thing and the little room and the little drawer, whatever you really believe in, whatever really works for you, double it up. If you do, things will get better. If you don't, things will not get better. It's really simple. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to take religion out of it for some reason and just double up on going for a walk outside, okay. Double up on no ice cream 3 hours before bed. Okay. I didn't have any cigars 2 days, I think.
Nice.
Excited. I repented. So you've got to have for yourself the ability to find out how now is a good time for you to experience profound healing for yourself. If you don't do it now, and now is just an intellectually gathering exercise, then you don't experience it. Oh, the angel's here. You didn't see her.
I did. Yeah.
You saw her? I don't know if I have any batteries. No, there's no batteries, but it lights up and bubbles.
Oh, wow.
It's got little batteries. Can you see it moving?
Well, you're not clear today. You're a little pixel.
I'm not clear today. I didn't do it. My internet's fine, as far as I know.
I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, I mean, I see it's like clear glass.
And then it has colors, and it stirs around in these particles.
All right, yeah. Neat.
And then she has different colors that go on in there. What's the 3 powers of Qigong, Chinese medicine, inner teachings of Kung Fu? What's the 3 powers?
Gosh, I haven't visited that in a long time. 3 powers. No?
Sky,
Earth.
Body, Earth.
Yes, I'm scary, aren't I? Sky.
Not at all. So you got sky, body, earth. Now, a wire has more current going through it when it has decreased resistance. That's what determines how much current can go through a wire. So how much decreased resistance do you have to the sky flowing into you, through you, to the earth flowing through you, nature, through your body, in your body, and the earth underneath you? Sky, body, earth. How much are you surrendered to it? Because if you were in Tahiti magic scene right now and you're just chilling out, there wouldn't be much problem in letting the vast ocean in and seeing the sky and enjoying the sand.
I feel like I have less resistance from the earth, a little bit more resistance from the sky.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
yeah.
So we let this in.
This is, I feel like, I don't know, a little blockage there. I want to release that.
Sky is also synonymous, called Tian in Chinese, also synonymous with God and cosmos. So when you look up at the stars, you look for God, right, as a human being. The stars are 360 degrees around the planet, but pretty much they're sort of kind of up there. And that's where people look for help. God help me. So let it come down through there and accentuate your tangible relationship. I mean, you've got the feeling of blue sky. You got the feeling of moving clouds. You got the feeling of rain. You got the feeling of stars, sun, moon. How about the Milky Way? Can you see the Milky Way where you are? Have you ever seen the outline of the? For some reason, you can see the Milky Way.
I think so.
Because it's like a
definitely the dippers, Little Dipper and a Big Dipper.
Right. So in all the traditions, you've got this looking at cosmos, the heavens. That's where the heavens and God is. All right. So you have the feeling of the Big Dipper, Little Dipper now connected to your head. Big Dipper, Little Dipper is a big deal in Qigong. But you feel it. Twinkling stars. To access subconscious processing speed, you have to slow down. Meditation initially is a slowdown, and then it hardwires the brain in hyper gamma, which is super fast brain waves. So there's no dissociation with real meditation because it produces a super fast brain speed of processing. But to do that, you're going to have to rest your brain first. Let this go down here, go down, find your body, mind. How about the earth? You got soil, you have moving tectonic plates, you have magma, you have center of the earth.
I feel like I feel the earth. Actually feel the earth. When it's the sky, I feel like I have to imagine it sometimes.
If you were outside looking at the sky right now, you could feel the sky, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are outside looking at the sky.
Mm-hmm.
By, not just mental imagination, by tangible connection. The force of the sky, heaven drops down its dew, it's called, in the Qigong, which is the inner teaching of Zen, the energy stuff. Best energy program I know about is Qigong. Did you find out when that open practice is?
I emailed the coach to ask.
You did?
But I didn't say anything about, I didn't try to soften anything for Jackson. I just asked him. I told him I didn't get anything. Do you know when it'll be available, that information? So it was just
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Open the communication without really saying much. No new sneakers? Did you get the tracking going?
There was no tracking available last time I looked. Let me say.
Oh, God.
I know. That's what's scary because it's like, geez, why is this taking so long? No tracking available.
Oh, no. So it's going to be 4 days from when they send it, right?
The
Most
thing
likely.
is Jackson has a lot of my Jordan sneakers. Those are totally basketball sneakers. Like he could easily wear a pair of Jordans. So yeah. I did mention to him last night, I said, I just want you to understand, don't get mad, because he already got mad when I mentioned the open gym. I just want you to understand it's going to be your decision, but there's two roads. You can either go and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like, or you could not go and take your chances on the first day of what it's going to be like and go from there. And then I just let it go. Hopefully I planted a seed.
Really? I like it. Well, don't worry about wrong decision or right decision as much as staying in balance yourself. Because that's the best chance. to have another person change their behavior anyway.
Yes, when you said that yesterday, it made a lot of sense to me.
I think after a while, you just get that way with people, children especially. One student, the little boy, the son, he's all into the golem. And so I'm obsessed with exposing what golem is.
Gollum, the
From
Batman?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the...
Schmeagol.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The little guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
My breath.
The epitome of conflict, the epitome of two opposing beliefs and behaviors. So if he's into Gollum, Schmeagol, whatever it is, I'm going to let him realize what Gollum and Schmeagol is. And so he's got a choice. And I don't know what choice he's going to do. But I'm going to reveal that he has a choice and not leave open ends and things lingering forever, for 100 years, 1,000 years, about this belief and this behavior and that behavior and so forth. People are lost in their psyches with mommy, daddy, sister, brother, because they can't extend their attention span to themselves in connection with some wise person. And let the wise person guide things a little bit. People go their whole life with these nightmares, never finding out what is inside of me that is part of him. Because if you show Jackson what's inside of you that's part of him, it might not look so great, some of the wrong decisions he's doing when he sees you doing it, or when he sees you have the same struggle with the ice cream. But that requires quite a lot of humility, because maybe I didn't want to give up the cigars. Then I'm sitting here teaching while I'm directly doing something wrong you know about. But there's a zillion things you could find I'm doing wrong. So it's not about actually becoming perfect. But it's about being transparent, though. Because if you're transparent over the years, you will become a more pure individual. And that makes you healthier and happier and holier and wealthier. All that. What's the most advanced stage of meditation?
Invisibility or non-vectoring.
That's the result of meditation.
Okay.
Step one is deep, because you're processing stuff. Deep breathing happens when you're processing emotional concerns. Step two is very, very long. You're being ministered onto. Some audio, something, super long breath.
Going beyond? You said the most advanced.
Yeah, step three is breathtaking beauty, orgasm, great bite of food. There's a second where there's no thought. The entire wiring of the brain and the body says that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. Yet that's the only thing that's going to make you heal, is to experience from the inside out a moment of breathtaking beauty and then have sighs of relief. So if you won the lotto, if you fell in love, if you something, whatever great, Jackson's healed, there's some wonderful event, then there's like, natural pause, sighs of relief. So the 7 phases model how a human being gets healed. So if you mimic them like a child, then you can realize how they happen naturally over time. That's the most advanced stage of meditation. It's called samadhi, or the peace that passes all understanding. Geniuses don't think. Thinking happens. You don't need reason. You need drive. Drive happens when you sleep good, when you have a wonderful moment, when something great happens. Now you're restored. You get energy in your body, mind, and you're permeable to it. When we begin this, we're not permeable to anything. There's no sky coming in. There's no environment coming through. There's no earth coming through. We're just separate thing trying to pull the strings of life to conform to our will. That's not very recommended. Once you calm down, slow down, touch down, break ground right here where you are, grow an extensive root structure right where you are, not over there, or when he comes home, or when the client comes, or when nothing over there, nothing next. Just now, once you do that, you take back your power. There's plenty of power in the air for everybody. So you go beyond the field of psychic magnetism in the interactions between you and the people upstairs and the Jackson over there and the everything. You become larger than that, so that power of life begins to flow through all that's in your embrace. That's how countries are built. Somebody has an all-embracing thing, and everybody's in that, and then they follow the leader, whatever the leader is. So what's your leaders? Make it your own. Make it work for you. If Jesus and Buddha and some bridge teachers are beyond us, and we conclude that, then please lead me. I was on the Roy Boehm website. I've got Richard Marcinko website. I made it. The greatest special forces guy in history, and the Roy Boehm website. I made it. I have royboehm.org and richardmarcinko.org. And I just love that this Roy Boehm, superhero guy, was working on them both this morning, getting pictures. I found pictures of their house and their insides of their houses. And he said, people think it's all about followership. It's not. It's all about I did it wrong again. See my ego?
It's all about following, not
What is it all about?
leading.
Right. I don't want to follow. I'm so smart. I want to lead. Jesus, help me, please. It's not all about, people think it's all about leadership. It's not. It's all about followership. So I'm not the universe. I'm not an enlightened master. I don't know anything about physics and can't even fix a sink. I'm dependent like a child on the mommy daddy. I'm dependent. You want to become independent? Be dependent. You want to become the master? Be the student. Stay the student. That's the secret sauce of resolving problems in life. I tell people all the time, everybody else knows. You're the only person that doesn't know. That hurts. That hurts to realize that that's kind of true, because everybody is projecting knowledge and wisdom the way their eyes are projecting and the way their mind is knowing things. But if I tell the truth, I don't really know much. And I have a lot of issues that I'm consumed with that I can't correct. I can't heal them. Aging is a very easy way to understand it. I'm consumed with this self-healing. But everybody else, how's everything? Great, great, great. The kids going to college, everything. I don't know what the hell they're talking about personally, but okay. Everything's so great for everybody. It's all a giant lie mask. I don't want to do that. I can play the game, because that's how people talk. But so if you are actually very concerned with how you're going to heal yourself today, by surrendering and following and stuff like this, accepting the water wheel to come down from here. This is a stuck waterfall. And then the water wheel comes down because I unplug it, become aware of the body, and now power circulates into the earth and then up through the spine. All the traditions talk about this power coming from down from the belly up through the body. So you that's like an orgasm too. You get that feeling. That's the energy of meditation. So once you have transcendence in meditation, now these cycles go. So if Joe knows and Jackson knows and William knows and your sister knows, everybody knows, you're the only person who doesn't know, then okay, accept your sad state of affairs and let all these knowers heal you. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So now all of these knowers are constantly healing and educating your distortion, your discomfort, your addiction, you're not good enough, you're whatever. If you do that before the client comes, then when the client comes, you change their whole life. You have so much energy. The transmission of the teaching outside the scriptures, the passing of the lamp in Zen. But not if there's a stuck waterfall and there's no power flowing through, because you want to be the knower and not these other knowers. Yeah, talking to myself as usual.
I'm feeling the rain outside.
Oh, cool. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain, telling me just what a fool I've been. And I me be alone again. Rain won't tell them that you love her so. You see the light through the eyelids and you sense the nasal airflow because that's what's here. So if the shaman with the mystical powers and the Buddha and the Jesus and the everybody, they have this prayerful experience of life from themselves to higher authorities. And it results in meditation after you get done 1,000 prayers and 1,000 beads and 1,000 dancing. You go into this trance of meditation. If they do that, is that something we should do too? The only thing is you just have to make clear that the word saint is part of it. And whatever you put into your program, it clearly is from genuine authorities. And then you can pick and choose certain things from bridge teachers or more who are more about structure or living links. 7 steps, pick and choose. Let the math teacher work for you. He's just a math teacher. It doesn't matter whatever else is going. You want to learn the math, then you have more relics and you have more scriptures. On my website, there's 14 books I wrote. They're all free. You just go to the website and click one. I've got enough for a lifetime there. And of course, it's everywhere, but we don't have this habit yet of saying, okay, I have 30 options, but really I need something new. Now, what can I do that's new? Oh, instead of going to the waterfall, go to investigate that gate you said you were going to investigate. And the rocks. You've got to feel that you're not healed. You need something new. And that's just another dummy thing. Like the guy said to Miss Universe called Miss Mexico or something. Dumbhead. And the guy was just a silly, not very nice guy.
Yes.
You just go and now it's become this thing and he lost $20 million and, good for Mexico. She looks good now and Mexico looks good now. But see, it's this I don't know thing or I have no solution or Padre Pio oil. Okay. But after you have let's say more, it might at some point become enough for you to lose yourself in. Because you have so many options inside yourself to press play on. You might be able to live a life where it's really part of what's going on today. The Padre Pio oil and the Tao Te Ching, whatever. Some kind of quote, some kind of prayer. Oh, I'm not as good at prayer. I'm better at scriptures and quote. Okay, well then maybe I should pray better. Danielle sounds to be pretty good at prayer. Okay. I mean, I pray all day long, but this talking to God thing, like talking to God, I think for the Muslim seems to be an interesting concept. And they do a lot of prayers. I want to learn about how they talk to God. It's all around us. The experience of being able to have another chance to alleviate the mortgage on your soul. It's all around us, but we can't reveal the discomfort in there. We won't do it. If you reveal the discomfort in there to Jackson, he's toast. Nobody can handle that. They become sat down. They become checked. When you reveal the suffering of the human condition in you, and you have no answer, now everybody's alone. Nobody's got an answer. We need food. We need this. We need that. Something. No idea how to solve it. Need to fix the sink. Can't do it. I want it fixed now. Can't happen. It's not fixed now. But I want it fixed now. But it's not fixed now. That's what we are. We're a bunch of people. I want me to be fixed now, but I'm not fixed now. Mm-hmm. If you don't see the light through your eyelids, you're wandering in thought too much. Eyelid light, sensing nasal airflow, posturing. Sky coming down and through, earth coming up and through, nature coming through, cosmic energy coming through.
I was trying to
happiness.
what it's called when you follow the breath up the spine, up the back, down.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what it's called. Just do that is great.
It feels like I get lost in it.
Good. Basically the most advanced physical practice of meditation. If you can feel a magnetic wave doing that, you let me know and then we can learn more about it. But for right now, just to do what you're saying is very, very wonderful thing. After you have meditation, you'll notice that you started doing that after the meditation started. So meditation is the anointing of the spirit. Now, when spirit touches the body, it creates energy, magnetism. Now you can move a magnetic field with your mind. But then you think, oh, I got to move the magnetic field with my mind. No, you have to learn how to meditate. And then moving the magnetic field with your mind is just going to be there. You're going to do that. But never trade the outside or the physical for the spiritual. I'm not saying don't do the magnetic. Yeah, I want you to do that. But everybody forgets all the time and does then the physical, everything physical. But the real source is all you have to learn is how to have peace of mind without thought.
So if I get
The other knowledge
of that, is that
that's fine.
more physical?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I just teach 30 years in the future all the time, because what happens is you'll come to an experience of saying, oh, that's it. The magnetic healing of my mind and, moving this up and down my spine. And then now Will told me within my spinal cord. And now Will told me the reverse path, the reverse. Okay, now you're getting healed. That's cake. So then you say, your mind wants to then do cake. But what I'm saying is that cake is never where cake comes from. Cake only comes from ingredients. And the ingredients is everything we did beforehand. The psychological stuff and the experience of sages and saints and so forth. And once we hit the relics and you hit your grandmother's earrings, things started to change. When things started to change and you went into meditation, you forgot yourself. When you forgot yourself, you remembered this magnetic healing thing going around your body. So you don't need to remember the product, really. You only need to remember the source. That doesn't mean that the product is not good and we don't need instruction there. That's fine, but that's the 1%. The 99% is the relics and the surrender and the following and the grandma's earrings and I'm not Jesus. I want to fix myself. And I can't. This is the source. I'm surrendered. I'm hopeless. I'm helpless. I'm dependent. That's what you need to learn. All the spiritual stuff that's in the Bible and wherever else, that's the only thing you need to learn. If you learn that, these other things are going to come about anyway. But that's good that you remembered that and you did that. I like that because that's like 4 and 5. 4 and 5 is coming out of meditation and allowing yourself to experience the Super Empowerment series. Super Empowerment series is things like that. And other things, clips from movies like Powder and any kind of movie that has an empowerment scene. Now, often it's a negative thing, so you have to interpret it in a positive aspect. Because power in this world is often applied to negative stuff. You don't see power being applied with spiritual things too much. You see power applied in movies and everything with physical things. But the movie Powder is a good example. He at the end of the movie, he runs into lightning and becomes lightning. He's this soft, nice guy, and he's got magnetic powers, and they bully him in the lunchroom, and he gets mad, and he makes all the forks come together and whatever. And Jeff Goldblum, I think that's his name, is at the end there. And Einstein said that there comes a time when our technology is going to surpass our humanity. And then Jeff Goldblum says to the guy Powder, who's an albino, he says, when I look at you, I think that maybe our humanity can someday surpass our technology. And then there's a storm, and he can't be in a storm because lightning strikes him. And he just runs straight for the storm. And everybody's, Powder! And
I would like to watch it again, though. Yeah.
1,000 times. The lightning strikes his heart, and he's running towards the lightning's going into his heart. And then he goes up into the clouds, he becomes lightning. Or Highlander chops the guy's head off, and power comes from all around and breaks the glass. All this power is coming into his body, and he becomes immortal at the end of it. Or Push, or Limitless. Push is where the lady has all kinds of psychic powers, and the people do. And some of them see the future, some of them can heal, stuff like this. Powers are part of what's going on around here, and you need to have powers. But you have to have the foundation of spirit before you can have powers. Powers is based in energy, which is based in conflict. So unless you can deal sanely with war, you're not allowed to have powers. Because anything to do with power there's conflict. So it's a very advanced thing, powers, because to have the spiritual stability to have powers is not really much around. Most people are not capable to have power because they don't even manage the power they have with any kind of balance. You have to take the power that you have and invest it towards that step 3. And when you do, then rooting and blooming will happen, and that'll produce magnetic power, and magnetic power produces powers. Like I have this many documents that are declassified from the CA about psychic perceptions. There's so many amazing things going on that's really, the Bible says things too high for me. So you don't want to be interested in things too high for you, and you don't want to be afraid of things too high for you. But you've got to realize that when you come back from meditation, you got to have rooting and blooming. And rooting and blooming is going to be magnetic power that cleans out the impressions of your karmas in your spinal cord and nerve and brain. That's going to cause you to be more unbounded. When you're more unbounded, you have powers, you see stuff. And that's not something for the human race to talk about or know about, because they ain't ready for shit. But there are certain people and things like that, these Garchins and Amas, and they're with that stuff. But it's like oil and water. It doesn't really mix with the human race too much.
How do I ensure rooting and blooming?
You touch the earth with your mind when you come down from this. See, when you gave up the entanglements of down here, the weightiness of psychic entanglement, which has its greater density down there, and sexuality centers down there. When you gave that up and you said, okay, I'm not going to be entangled with the roots here, with what's going on here and up here. It's all about the people in the air. I'm just going to, trust God. And I'm going to realize the nice parable William said, night and day, it's time to go to bed. I don't have any ability. I lose. Okay, I lose. So now you let some kind of, I don't know, like Jesus or whatever, I don't know. Something, so grandma's earrings, So the grandma's earrings, it comes into you. So now you just stop trying to protect yourself from everything and you come into it, you transcend. All right, now you're in this place where this is calm, the cortex, every religion touches there or wipes the ashes there. And you got the meditation. When you get the meditation, now all this stuff out here is kind of without your engagement. So you recognize, oh, wait a minute, I have a relationship with Jackson and Joe and everything. I must come back to this world here. And I must first establish my own firm footing. If I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything. This is like the math of enlightenment. What I've got here for you is the math of enlightenment. It's very, very boring, but it's very great math. I think what I've understood is one of the best things that the planet's ever seen. Because it's just so clear. I mean, now how to comply with it or work with it. So when you come back to the physical, you touch the earth with your mind. When you touch the earth with your mind, what's an environment comes to you because it has space. Now you have space. You've been cleaned. So since you have space and you're touching the earth, you're still on your own ground. You're not mixed up out here. Now everything comes to you because you're accepting. So since everything comes to you, you're going to need to have roots and blooms in environment and up here to be able to manage the winds while you're in your tree deep roots, and you can move your limbs to respond to, when's the shoes coming? Oh my God, the tracking didn't even come yet. And you're like a tree talking like Wizard of Oz. So you're not going over there. You're letting it all come to here, and you've got the sun, moon, and rain and stars growing you. You've got this underneath here. You've got your principles. You've got certain things. You've got grandma earrings. And these become your teachers and your leaders. You don't lead anything. And as you reference them, these different things, Jackson says, where's the shoes? Oh my God, the shoes are in your own court, in your own field, in your own space. You answer the question. You don't answer the question over there because you're afraid they might not like the answer and put yourself off balance, sticking your neck over here. You answer yourself where you are, and it's automatic, like an ocean wave responds to winds. So you don't go over there and identify with whether Joe thinks you're a New Age Fruit Loop or not. Everybody believes you're a New Age Fruit Loop.
Yeah.
So you could just forget that answer. And give it up. You're not getting some kind of, But if you have your own treeness and then Joe comes to you and he says, okay, I'm going to come pick Jackson up. And you, okay, from your own space, then he'll fall into line. Everybody falls into line like ducks in my world. I think because I just don't care in the sense that you ain't ruling me. If you're going to rule me, then show me, okay. Or I'll let you rule me as the Atma, but I don't believe, I think I have my own will and things like that, so I have to kind of do the best I can myself. So I don't overextend myself to the point of imbalance with other people's beliefs and behaviors, even if it causes me great discomfort. So that's rooting and blooming. Blooming is you realize that the waterfall and the moving stars, and it's more important than the people in the air. Because the people in the air, we're all going to live and die. The universe and the sky and the earth is the only chance you have to be any good to the people in the air, people in your life. So you've got to be connected with this. They don't see the sky. They don't see the waterfall. They don't see the earth. They don't smell the soil. If you are alone in a scene in nature and Joe is with you alone in a scene in nature, Joe is encompassed inside of your perception that is within the scene of nature that's bigger than Joe. Nature is the umbrella that coddles your relationship with Joe and Jackson. But you identify your substance and your relationship with nature, with Jackson and Joe, more than with life. Because you can't see beyond their individual expression. Whether their individual expression is good or bad or right or wrong means everything. There's nothing that means more than that to you. So then, therefore, you're separated from Grandma's earrings. Because if there's conflict with Jackson and Joe or something, then Grandma's earrings don't matter. But the problem is that's not true. It's a lie. Grandma's earrings matter more than Jackson and Joe. Because Jackson is only alive because of Grandma's earrings. He wouldn't have a body if it wasn't for Grandma's earrings. Grandma's earrings is the source of life, producing his very life, still today. So without the earrings, you don't have that other person there. So you breathe freely, you find yourself, and you find your rooting and blooming as if you went on vacation today. Now you start pre-processing. Client, Jackson, Joe. Because now in the physical world of ones and zeros, that is everything now. Because you got the transmission, and now you have to make the dinner. And now you have to receive Jackson. So to do that, you have to constantly be pre-processing before he comes home. Because your entire existence in the physical conflicted world is centered on your relationship with Jackson. Everything flows from that. Your moods, your success, your failure, pretty much.
So, pre-processing is like rehearsing when he comes home.
No, there's no action. Everybody wants an action, but there's not really any action in this. It's all done through you. So once you're landed, you're rooted and you're bloomed right here where you are, then there's a client maybe and Jackson's coming. That's what's next. So as you move and shake about your day and do some laundry and whatever you want to do, if you're present to what's here, then that's what's coming. So it's not here yet, but it's driving to you. So they're in their mind, they're driving to you. And he's coming home. So he's coming home to land. And all the school's going to be there and all the things.
I could use your help today because the client that I have is a new client. It's one of Jackson's soccer friends, and the mom does not speak any English. They're Mexican, so I will. So
Mexican.
he'll be. I think that Brian, his friend, will be there to help translate.
So it's the lady that's getting the session?
His mom, Jackson's friend's mom.
Jackson's friend's mom. Wow. Oh, she's going to be easy as pie.
Yeah, I have no idea why she wants to come, but he hurt himself. Jackson said, you should talk to my mom. She does stuff like that, help you. And he said, oh, I want to make an appointment for my mom. And so he called and made an appointment for his mom. So I don't know why.
And he's Jackson's age?
Yeah, he's a...
And did she know that it's going to be?
I have no idea what she knows or what she doesn't know. So
Oh, no. She doesn't know anything. She's going to lay there and you're going to go, and she's going to go, are you nuts?
I know. That's the problem.
Oh, shit.
So,
well, I would adapt in that situation. First, I would have a thorough conversation about what is energy medicine. I would put in spirituality. She's Mexican. I'd talk about God. Chances are high. It's a guess, but chances are high. She's a Catholic. And I would put in some of the science of energy medicine and what you're going to do. Because she has no awareness that you're going to go like this and then leave.
No.
And then give me $100 or something.
Yeah.
She has no clue about that whatsoever. This is not going to be a turn on unless you prep it with, I'm going to use my heart and my mind, and I'm going to pray for you for this whole time. I'm going to be praying for you, which you are, whether you are not exactly verbally, you still are. And then when I feel, the moment is right, so try to remember what I said or write down on a piece of paper.
Okay.
Some thorough prep is the idea around here for this one. And see if you can speak some Spanish to her, like Dios te bendiga. That means God bless you. Dios te bendiga.
Oh, I don't know that one. Dios
de bendiga.
Say the last word again.
Mendiga. I'm going to make sure I say it perfect. I always question myself. How do you say God bless you in Spanish?
Spanish, that's Dios lo bendiga.
Dios lo bendiga. I thought it was de bendiga. How do you say God bless you in Mexican?
Spanish, you would say Dios lo bendiga.
Dios lo bendiga. So I've been saying it wrong for 100 years.
Is it with a B or an M? Bandiga or mandiga?
Bendiga.
Dios lo bendiga.
Bendiga.
Dios lo bendiga.
Dios
lo bendiga. Dios lo bendiga.
Got it. Dios lo bendiga.
Dios lo bendiga.
And that means God bless
Dios lo bendiga.
Yeah. It's common sort of saying they say to each other. Yeah, give her that whole prep, See if you can do science of energy medicine, heart. Talk about your heart. Since you have a fear about the heart and your mom has a fear about the heart, and you never even told me that, I just know it. But since you do, then, you should talk about the heart with people. Go ahead and go in the face of your fear to do with heart stuff. The heart is a gland as well as an organ. The heart produces a field of magnetism that's measurable. I'm going to be praying the whole time, and at the right moment, I'm going to just touch you and transmit to you.
I don't talk like that to any of my clients.
Well, because they talk English and they got an idea.
Yeah.
You have no background with this person.
Okay. No, I like it. It is what I do.
Yeah.
I actually do many Hail Marys when I'm working on people.
All right. So write it down. Write it down. No hiding. Write it down. Write it down. I do many Hail Mary. Make the person understand that everybody says you got to be established as the expert, right? All you got to do is say my trainings and my experiences, right? I'm the expert. It's not a question. So you just go and lay it on the line humbly and authentically and just say, okay, this is what's going on, and talk about the heart. And in doing that, you'll resolve your fear about your heart, which could be a problem in the future if you don't resolve it. So. And with some of these people, like that lady's mom, the young girl's mom, a little sheet about the science of stuff, or a clip from Heart Math. Write down a clip from Heart Math in Spanish. Maybe you can send it to her right now. See if they got
For
a 2-minute
the
clip
moms,
for the mom.
or
Yeah, the mom would do benefit from, a little science. On my website, it says something about click this link on the front page, and it takes you to a text document that talks about extraordinary changes from some people when they have certain beliefs. And
I sent her the
I don't know
Barbara
if it
Brennan,
talks
and she was grateful. She said thank you, but I don't know. It was before she's
the lady.
listened.
Oh,
Yeah.
is she very linear, or is she just, what is she?
She does have faith.
What's that mean?
Well, I mean, she talks about praying for her daughter. She talks about God. I feel like she has faith, but she doesn't practice in this situation with her daughter. She feels like she has to control everything. So
Let me see.
I see the daughter, I think, on Thursday.
Heart Math clip in Spanish. Well, you should.
Heart Math in Español or Heart Math in Español. These clips likely cover the
Heart Math in Español. Heart Math in Español.
Heart Math in Español.
Oh, here you go. Uh-oh. Got it. Totally got it for you. Here it comes. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm sure it's perfect. Heart Math in Español. Send that to her.
Okay, so I thought you were talking about the other mom, but I'll do it for this.
Well, I gave up on her. Oh, I was going to say, though, you should send an email to the girl, the day before. Is there anything you need, for tomorrow's session? Let her know that she's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, just to make sure she's coming. And getting her thinking about coming. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Is there anything you need? Here's a clip. Find a clip to send her. Send her the throw off the bridge peaceful warrior clip.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to play around with people. You can hit everybody hard. Send her that clip. I learn that more all the time. People are far more resilient than I think. Like right now, I'm starting to teach about the power stuff, which I've kept that secret for years. But there's really no reason. That was just because I wasn't ready.
Oh. Will I be able to share it since it's from your drive?
Yeah, just share the same link.
Okay, I gotta find it. We got a lot of links here.
If the people that are miracle people, like in Tibet, they go into a cave for 3 years, or in Moses, they wander in the desert for 40 years, or Jesus goes in the desert for 40 days. All of these people, if they have extraordinary prayer and meditation, extreme silence and devotion and stillness and meditative type of things going on as the majority of what they're about. If you need some kind of miracle power to heal your life or to heal someone in your life, you're going to need to do the same kind of thing. Watch a film on different films about Mother Mary, for example. You've got the Lourdes, is that where the appearances was? You've got Guadalupe, the whole Mexico thing. That shroud, the painting, which I saw in person, defies science. It's like 500 years old, or the colors don't fade and things like that. And the constellations are in her eyes, and it's just all kinds of extraordinary things about that painting. I will call you in 20 minutes. Okay? Okay. Bye. So,
sending the link to my client, the 22-year-old, and saying, are you ready for tomorrow, or do you need anything for tomorrow to be ready?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, and are you ready for tomorrow? Okay. As she gets thrown off a bridge.
Oh, geez, I forgot that's what the clip is.
I like it.
She's going to have...
We'll see whether she wants to, look, if she doesn't comply, you know what I mean, or surrender and give you the chance to do your stuff, then she can get the hell out. The money is never worth it in that exchange. You only can go so far.
You know what's really cool about... I don't know if you have an iPhone, do you? Yeah?
I don't have Android.
Okay. I can set this up to send to her the night before her treatment, so I won't forget.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's a send later. option. So I do see her on the 13th. Okay, so I'll send it at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. There we go.
My friend moved to California, and she's slowly, God knows what. I'm so worried. I can't worry.
Oh.
Anyway, she left here. She had her own place over here, and she has the grandkids that she babysits right around the corner, and she'd come and see me now and then. I cook for her, and
why'd you go to California?
She would see Lena and I. Well, she's going to go live with her sister, and she can save some more money. And boy, was that the wrong decision as far as I could understand. So now she lives with a sister and her sister's daughter. So she's got all these people in her house. I would never dare do such a thing. And she lives on a busy street. There's sound of cars all the time. And she's like 75, and she lived in paradise around the corner here. Total quietness, silence, magic, I don't know. I just keep hoping that she's okay, but I can't imagine. I would never change. Not for me. Not me anyway. I'm not trading silence and quietness for community and the rest of it. Not me.
Oh yeah, there's so many people.
That's not for me.
No, I get it. It can't be for you. You would die quicker.
No, I could do fine. I'm fine in a crowd. I can rock and roll. But that's not the path of the person turning into light. Unless, you want to start teaching like that, or you want to be involved in that's never going to be for me. I could teach 100 people online one time, I could do a workshop every so many months or whatever, but no, I'm a recluse, and all the masters are recluses, so I'm not wrong. It took me a lifetime to understand that, to have peace with it, to feel I'm not failing.
I'm heading to the recluse.
You can be more social. When you show up anywhere, you can light up the scene, you can be nice, and everybody loves you. It's great. But in the meantime, you got to find yourself, I think, and find the inner world. I mean, all the super masters, they all live like that. Top of mountains, caves. No matter where you look and where you go, whatever the tradition. So I would rather be healed. So that's my choice. So what about the girl's mom now? She's just forget it?
Well, I sent her the Barbara Brennan, but I haven't heard back from her about it. And I'm sure I'll hear from her on the day of her daughter's treatment, because she usually texts me and says she's on her way, or she left 5 minutes late, or hope she gets there. She's driving me crazy. I pray for her every day.
Okay. Why don't you send the mom a heart math thing? There's this heart math thing about, anything, it doesn't matter. No, that's in Spanish.
Oh.
Heart math clip about heart energy.
My brother-in-law just sent me a long test.
Heart energy by searching for videos.
There you go. Look at this 1 minute thing for her. Perfect. Teasing, that's all you got to do. If you want to get the girl to have sex with you, you just got to tease. Tell Jackson.
No, I'm not telling him that.
Oh, God, help us, huh? Forgive me, Lord. Did I send it to you? Did I do that right?
I didn't get it.
Who did I send it to? Uh-oh, I don't know. Here it comes for you.
They sent it to whoever needs it. Right?
I guess.
Oh, I got something just now.
Yeah, that's going to be some perfect little 1.5 minute thing.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, wow. I feel like that's going to be good in conjunction with the Barbara Brennan that I sent already. Hopefully she watched it. My brother-in-law just sent me a long text he wants to send to a friend. He said, do you think this is okay to send to a friend who is dying, or am I saying anything wrong?
Look at that.
He's asking for advice now. That's sad.
So you come into your own. You're allowed to be Miss Master Girl, unless you're just full of it. I know you want to believe that you're totally full of it, but I'm telling you it's not true. Anybody that does this kind of work and this stuff has a very genuine part to them. And you just need to put it in the practical world and be a fighter, and then you're irrefutable. Doesn't matter if the world has a wrong understanding about it. Have you concluded that it's good and you understand, and this is part of life, that sages and saints are real, that energy medicine's real? All right, so get on with it then. just in yourself. It doesn't have to be like for your business and all that.
For myself. It has to be for myself.
Right. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop eating ice cream at 3 a.m. either, because you're never going to stop doing that in some sense. Never, as long as you live. There's always going to be an addicted part of you that's going to function, or a sin that's going to function. So if getting it right is your requirement to being accepted to yourself, then you can't ever be accepted.
Oh, yeah, that's a stuck spot for me, for sure. I guess I could look at it like you explained yesterday, is that it's a win-win no matter what, because then I would have something to work on.
It's a win-win no matter what, because you're going to be healed. I don't know when, maybe 1,000 years from now, but you will be healed. Your life is cradled in the evolutionary process of the universe. There's not even an eternal hell like the Bible tells us. It's not really. Because eventually, obviously, you must get the message. But you could be in the eternity of hell unless you make the choice to stop eating ice cream at 11 o'clock at night. So that could go on for eternity. But when you look at the reality of eternity,
Yeah, I get that.
you're probably going to stop it at some point because it's going to become clear. I don't know when. It could be 40 million billion years. But at some point on the continuum of eternity, we'll stop the sin. And then we'll become aware I was one with God the whole time. And all I was doing is punishing myself because I don't like myself. And in that punishment, I didn't change the wrong thing I don't like about myself. So it just continues as a loop. We watch and do bad things because we want to feel pain. And feeling that pain causes us to have some energy to stimulate. So we keep ourselves in nightmares and prisons of our own making on purpose so that we can feel, because the numbness of wherever our pains are is so constant that rather than accepting the boring reality of the numbness, we add pain to it to spark it into life. And then that creates more karma, because the kind of pain we add is the wrong kind of pain. Ice cream at 11 a.m. or smoking cigars like cigarettes apparently is a nice thing. Is it? There's some kind of delusion there. Mental illness and addiction is the externalized perception of getting something to cause us to feel better with the belief that it doesn't cost anything. But it costs us everything because you don't sleep and so forth and so forth. It costs us the ruin of our lives. That's what sin is. The wages of sin is death, the Bible says. But the point is not the sin or not sin, or bad or good, or incompetent or competent. The point is love and grace. I'm loved. I don't care what you, he, she, me, them, this does. I'm loved. It's a choice I've made. I experience love and happiness like a child. I experience love and joy and happiness like a child. That's part of my life. That's part of what I am. If you tell the truth about yourself, you'll have to admit that that's part of what you are, that you experience love and joy and happiness.
I was just talking to my friend Cindy this morning about the magic of Christmas kind of dwindling away as you're an adult. And she said, I want to bring it back. And I said, let's bring it back. And she's like, everything's going so fast. I feel like Christmas was 2 weeks ago and now it's Christmas again. It's my favorite time of year, but I feel like it's happening so fast. And I said, we have to slow down and let's find the magic. Let's make it like, let's focus on finding the magic instead of going with the rat race. So I said,
send her the Bing Crosby playlist.
Okay.
Bing Crosby is the main one, but the classic Christmas songs playlist.
Okay.
Yeah. Link's Enlightenment. Ave Maria Grazia. Ave Maria Grazia. That's the real music. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
I appreciate you being available. I'm so glad it worked out that I got to be here. So.
Me too.
Thank you.
I'm happy we're able to do it again. Now let's do it again with whatever's next for us. And I will see you in texting land soon enough, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, be well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.